Little bit high, 1-1 to Mason. Here comes the next pitch. Outside, just off of the glove of the catcher for Winneconne. I'll see again if I can get their stuff here shortly. 2-1 is the count for Mason. Here comes the pitch. Right down the middle. Mason goes after it aggressively. Whoa! And laying out is the center fielder. I'm sorry I didn't switch the camera. My apologies. But out at center field, laying out and robbing a base hit from Mason Holtz for the second out. Dang, that's on me, folks. I was trying to write and get everything caught up, so my apologies. Great catch by the center fielder. Brings us up number 25, Evan Sauer. Ball low to Sauer. Here's the pitch. Up the middle. Fielded there by the shortstop cleanly on the hops. Fires over and gets the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on as at the top of the first inning, the Waupun Warriors and the Winneconne Wolves will be back here for the bottom of the first inning as the Winneconne Wolves are the home team. We'll be back here shortly. All right. Can I grab this? Oh. Can I just borrow that? Thanks.
First three batters for Winneconne is Dylan Scott, Alex Newell, and Ray Mavroff. And on the mound for Mason Holtz.
Thank you. Welcome back here to the Gus. Pitching for the Waupun Warriors. Number 12, Mason Holtz. Batting leadoff here for Winneconne is number 2, Dylan Sherratt. And then will be number 14, Alex Duell. And then number 12, I saw that. Flies out for the first out. Sherratt does too. The right fielder, Ethan Cunningham, for the first out.
Now up, Alex Duel. On deck, Brady Mavrov.
Brady Mavrov will be batting in the third spot. Puts it on the ground over to the second baseman. Brady White flips it over to Jake Krieger and gets the out. Again, I'll go over there and I'll fix my scoreboard camera here shortly.
Number 12, Brady Mavrov.
Jeremiah Yankee will be on deck. Popped up into the air, going to pick it up as a nice play there by the shortstop for the Waupun Warriors, Evan Sauer, and gets the out. Quick inning right there for the Warriors as Mavrov, who's the DH, flies out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. 0-0 after one here from the Gus. Remember, the Waupun Warriors are the visiting team in this game. Welcome back here to the Gus. Up to bat now for the Waupun Warriors, number 9, Jake Krieger. Kleinschmidt is the pitcher. Colson Kleinschmidt is the pitcher for Winneconne. First pitch into there to Krieger is a ball. Here's the pitch. Hit way out in front of it. For a strike is 1-1. Krieger all over that. Here comes the pitch. Fouls that one off too, way out in front of it again. 1-2. Fouls that one again. He's way out in front. Jake way back in the box. I talked to him about moving up forward here if he's way out in front of that pitcher. Make the adjustment to the speed. Breaking ball in there for a ball. 2-2 now to Jake Krieger for the Warriors. Two and two is the count. I'll swing over after this half inning, and I'll go change my scoreboard a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. I tried to darken it up, and I did. Oh, just missed that one down the line. Foul ball. Here comes the pitch by Kleinschmidt. And behind. I don't know how that misses, Jake. It was completely behind him. 3-2 is the count now to Krieger. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one off. Just got a piece of it. Up to bat next will be the DH, number 22, Chase Beam. Followed by Ethan Cunningham. Here's the pitch. Hits that one hard. Foul. This is the 9th pitch of the inning at bat here for Krieger. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one. There might be a play on it. And trying to get there's the catcher and doesn't quite get there. So it was out of play. Jake doing a good job battling up there. He's been all over Colson Kleinschmidt. Fouls that one off. That's what I had. 11 pitches for Jake Krieger at this at bat. Low, and he draws the walk after that battle. And Jake will be on base here for the Waupun Warriors. Got the shadow kicking in there a little bit. We'll see what happens when these lights come in. But again, I'll do a little bit of adjusting here at the half inning on my scoreboard so you can see it a little bit better. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge for a strike to Chase Beam. Jake Krieger sitting over at first base here for the Warriors in the top of the second. Takes off. Hits that on the ground. Oh, right to the second base. Oh, good job by Krieger to cause the interference a little bit. He ran a little bit of a screen, causing the second baseman not to be able to tag him. Advances to second. Beam couldn't quite leg it out to get to first base in time. But the Warriors now, with only one down, have a runner in scoring position in Jake Krieger, who is getting on his horse to take off and steal. Ethan Cunningham now at the bat here for the Warriors. Kleinschmidt right down the middle on the outside edge there for a strike. Here's the pitch. Inside off of the glove. He's going to try and take off. Not a good play. And he does get there. No coverage. That's a good call there. Listening to him up here talking about nobody was covering the plate. But I think in this situation, I think he was just lucky enough to get the third, actually, because that squirted up that baseline. He thought he would have been big time in play to get it out. But Krieger is now over at third. Chance here for the Warriors to strike first. A little bit low into Cunningham. 2-1. Number 5, Brian Ferris is on deck. Here comes the pitch. Outside, good catch there by the catcher for Winneconne. Colin Albrecht, who had come in. I didn't notice that he had come in, I think, probably in the 5th inning of the last game. Came in and subbed in. 3-1's the count here for Ethan Cunningham. Colson Kleinschmidt, the pitcher for Winneconne. Cunningham takes a cut at that on the inside and makes it a full count, 3-2, with 1 out. Outside, drawing the walk, and the Warriors have another runner on base. Is Ethan Cunningham. Brings up to bat number 5, Bryant Ferris.
Number 5, Bryant Ferris.
For the Waupun Warriors.
Conrad Davis on deck.
Here comes the pitch, taken off right away. And advancing, smart base running here. Running aggressively. So again, I'm going to go back a ways from when Waupun won the state title in 2018. That's one thing. They were extremely aggressive on the base pads. Aggressive up to bat. Played solid defense. Outside to Ferris. I have that as 2-1, I believe. Is it 1-1? Yeah, I think it is 1-1. Sorry. Gotta get it there. Oh, jeez. I wasn't paying attention. I think that's right, though. I think it is the... Now it's 2-1 because he took off stealing on that first pitch. I don't know why it's not up, so let me see if I can find it here. There it is. Here comes the run from Krieger, and he's going to get in there and score on that wild pitch. Also moves Cunningham over to third. So Warriors strike first. Very aggressive base running here. 3-1 is the count with only 1 out. Colson Kleinschmidt. After the first inning where he got all 3 out, hit on the ground. Ferris is going to try and beat it out. He's got enough speed to do so on the backhand attempt by the third baseman over there. Number 23 trying to grab a hold of it, and Peyton Davis could not get there. Ferris has got great speed, so let's hope that he's going to...
Now up number 11, Conrad Davis. On deck, number 4, Hunter Camp.
Did you mark that as a hit, or was that an error? You don't think he would have beat it out if it would have fielded it cleanly? Mark it down as an error. Ferris is on base no matter what. I hope he's got him on his horse right here to get him right into scoring position right away. Conrad Davis up inside. Wow. We'll check it out here soon. Can go up and... Now Ferris takes off. I can't remember what it is, sorry. Yeah. Ferris gets in. 1-1 is the count to Conrad Davis. Good lead out there for Brian. Again, he's got great speed. Got to take advantage of it. That's hit pretty hard out into center. Carries off of the glove of the center fielder. There's an error for Conrad Davis, but he's going to try and stretch it to a triple. Getting down, and he does. Conrad Davis with a triple, but it's an error because the center fielder dropped it, but good base run in there by Conrad Davis.
Number 4, Hunter Camp.
Scores 2 runs and brings up number 4, the catcher for the Warriors, Hunter Camp. Completely different style here in this game, running aggressively once they're getting on bases. And I know it helps to have people at third base, but, I mean, you got to get them there. First pitch in there to Camp is a strike. Only 1 down, so definitely should see Emmett coming back up here in the second inning. Here's the pitch. Oh, 0-2 to Hunter Camp. Colson Kleinschmidt ready to deliver for the Wolves. Outside, 1-2. Seeing if Hunter would chase, he does not. Only one down here for the Warriors. Slams that one over towards foul territory. Keeps it at 1-2. Colson Kleinschmidt ready to deliver for the Wolves. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, popped up into the air. Catcher's going to go give chase. Not able to catch it. Hunter still alive. First game was pretty good game. Seemed like it dragged along a little bit, but the Warriors came back and won it 9-8. Gets past the catcher. That's going to allow for Conrad Davis to score. And the Warriors have put a 4 spot up here in the second inning. Here comes the pitch. Down low. Gets it to a 3-2 count. Hunter Camp doing a nice job of being patient up there. Here comes the pitch. Good contact in the gap. Gets down, and a nice job there by Hunter Camp. He's going to stretch it to a double. That ball hits out in the outfield. I just walked out there to change my batteries to make sure that I'd have all these cameras working again, and it is mucky out there. Hunter Camp with the double.
Number 14, Emmett Hall on deck.
Brings up the top of the order for the Waupun Warriors. Emmett Hull. Number 13 is going to run.
Emergency runner for the catcher, number 13, Colin Camphouse.
Colin Camphouse. It's going to be the courtesy. There's the pitch. A little bit low to Emmett Hull. Leadoff hitter here for the Waupun Warriors. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball, got a little bit out in front of it. The catcher's going to give chase. Almost gets there in time. New life here for Emmett. Oh, 0-1. Only one out here yet for the Warriors. Is it 1-1? Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground. Right to the shortstop. Fields it cleanly. Fires over. Scooped up. First baseman wasn't sure he was going to get it or not, but it advances the runner in Colin Camphouse getting over to third base. 6-3 on the fielder's choice putout.
Number 12, Mason Holtz.
2 outs. Brings up number 12, the pitcher for the Warriors, Mason Holtz. In the dirt, scoots away, and Camphouse scores. And the Warriors put up a 5 spot. Oh, and 1 is the count to Mason. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Little bit high. 2-1. Next pitch by Kleinschmidt. Right there, hit up in the middle. Good job there fielding it by the second baseman. Fires over. I think Mason beats that out, and he does. Good hustle there for Mason Holtz on the infield single. Left-handed hitter, fly runs really well. Second baseman had to go play it with a backhand. Couldn't turn those hips quick enough to fire and get Mason Holtz out. We're going to get a courtesy runner here for Mason as well.
Courtesy runner for Holt, number 10, Braden Larson. Oh, number 25, Evan Sauer.
Braden Larson will be the courtesy runner. Number 3 hitter in the lineup for the Warriors, Evan Sauer. A little bit low for a ball to Evan. Here comes the pitch. Popped up into the air. The catcher's going to play it and gets it to end the inning. All 9 batters come up to bat for the Warriors. They put 5 on the board. To do some quick calculating here and see what we've got. So there's 1 hit.
Complete, Waupun 5, Winneconne 0.
I have 2 hits. They scored 5 runs. 2 errors. And 1 left on. After 1.5, the Waupun Warriors with a 5-0 lead over the Winneconne Wolves. Welcome back here to the Gus. Mason Holtz on the mound where number 12. Pitch In there for a strike, 1-1, as he's pitching to number 11, Jeremiah Yankee for Winneconne. One and two is the count. Here's the pitch. Slaps that one foul. Keeps the count at 1-2. Here's the pitch by Mason. In the dirt, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Strikes him out for the second out. Oh, first out, sorry. I think that's the first time that Jeremiah Yankee has not reached on base. He was on all 5 times, I believe, in the last game. Goes down swinging for the first out. Brings up number 16, Gavin Markert. Strike one into Markert. Here's the pitch. Strike two on the tip off the end of the bat. Mason dealing some good heat, mixing up his pitches. Right there on the outside edge, painting him where you want him, and he gets him looking for the second out. It's got to be kind of defeating here for Winneconne Wolves. They had control of that last game here. Thought they were going to be able to come here, take one away from the Waupun Warriors, and get a win in the Eastern Conference standings, and instead, East Central standings, instead they end up losing that game 9-8, and then they end up having to face Mason Holtz here. And Mason is just mowing them down right now, 0-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, gets him swinging for the third out, and it's a strikeout again. All 3 outs are strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody on as the Waupun Warriors have a 5-0 lead after 2 innings. We'll be back after this here on Jeff's live streams here on YouTube. Please feel free again one more time here. Put some stuff in the chat. Let me know who you're cheering for, who's your favorite players, what your thoughts are about the East Central Conference. It doesn't make a difference to me what you'd like to put in there. The kids go back and watch these videos. They're going to love it. So let them know who's out there cheering for them. Welcome back here to the Gus as we get ready here for the top of the 3rd inning. Waupun Warriors leading off is number 9, Jake Krieger. He got things started in that last inning. New pitcher is number 4. I'm sorry, what was his first name again? Noah Boris. It's coming in to pitch. Just a bit outside. 2-0. Inside, wears one off the backside, and Jake is on base for the second time. Brings up number 22, Chase Beam. Here's the next pitch. Right down the middle, Beam gets a good chunk into it. The right fielder comes over, drops the ball. He didn't try and make any transfer, I don't think. So I think that's going to be a... Yeah, it is. But still, I think that's even a base hit, even though he dropped it, because he really had to make a heck of a run to get there, I thought. But I'm not the official scorer.
Dog number 7, Ethan Cunningham.
Runners at first and second. Nobody out here for the Warriors. Turns to bunt. Nice bunt there. Put there by Ethan Cunningham. Oh, nice play. He's going to try and make it in for home, and he does. Turning is Jake Krieger. Some really interesting plays are taking place here. Cunningham with the RBI. Chase Beam is sitting at second base. Ethan Cunningham with a nice little bunt. It was more of a single than a bunt single as he hit it hard enough to push it past the pitcher and into the gap. Tried to knock it down. Beam is going to try and make it to third, and he does just in time. And both runners up advance. Cunningham sitting at second. Here's the next pitch. Right down the middle. 1-1 is the count to Bryant Ferris. Good stop there by the catcher, Colin Albrecht, for Winneconne. 2-1. Noah Boris ready to deliver for Winneconne. Right on the screws, but right at the shortstop. And a good job there by the shortstop to try and pick him off over there at third base. Nothing doing.
Conrad Davis.
Brings up number 11, Conrad Davis. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. Little bit outside to Conrad. 2-0. One out here for the Warriors. They put one more run up there, 6-0. Just outside, ball 3. Davis waiting for the pitch from Noah Burris. Here it comes. On the outside edge, he found it there, gets the strike, 3-1 with only one out. Here's the pitch. A little bit low. Conrad will load the bases here for the Warriors with only one out. And Hunter Camp coming up. Camp with a double the last time. Plating a couple of runs. Ooh, strike one to Hunter. Here comes the pitch. Camp had a good look at it, fouled it off for strike two. 0-2 with one out. Bases full of Warriors. Here's the pitch. Camp gets a piece, fouls it off. Staying alive up there. Here's the pitch, high, 1-2. Only one out here for the Warriors. Here's the next pitch. Slaps at that one to stay alive. Doing a good job of protecting up there. Keeps the count at 1-2. Here's the next pitch. Slaps that one again. One and two, one out. Bases loaded. Slaps that one to second. Going to try and turn the double. They do not, and there's going to be a run scored. It's a good hustle there by Hunter Camp to get down the line on the fielder's choice. Two down now. Coming up is the leadoff hitter, number 14, Emmett Hull. Cunningham sitting at third. 2 runs in on this inning already for the Warriors. Big lead out there for Hunter Camp. Here's the pitch. High. Oh, did he come back in for him? I couldn't see. I wasn't paying attention. Yep, looks like it. Colin Camphouse came back in to run. Outside for Hull. 2-0. Runners at first and third here for the Warriors. Here comes the pitch right down the middle. Took a little bit off of it. Got the strike, 2-1. Big lead out there for Camphouse. Here's the pitch. Outside. Colin Albrecht with the stop. 3-1. Noah Boris on the mound for the Winneconne Wolves. Down the middle, right off the end of the bat. That'll be a nice base hit. Drop in there. Score another run. Turning with it as Camphouse getting over to third. And a 3 spot so far put up here by the Warriors. So Howell with a nice base hit. Mason Holtz up to bat now, the number 2 hitter in the lineup for the Warriors. 0-1 to Mason. Outside, kind of slipped out of the hand of the pitcher, Noah Boris. 1-1. 8-0 here for the Waupun Warriors. Would not have thought about that, but again, mentally, I mean, these high school kids here for Winneconne, they just put all their heart into that first game, and they just lose it by a run in the 7th. It's hard to bounce back, especially when you're cold. Here comes the pitch. High, 3-1 to Mason. And then you're going to face Mason Holes on the mound here. He's the ace of the staff here for the Warriors early. The left-hander has his stuff working today and draws the walk. Bases are loaded. Full of Warriors once again.
25, Evan Sauer.
Brings up number 25, Evan Sauer. Once again, the 9th hitter in this inning. Here comes the pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-0. Warriors at first, second, and third. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. One and one is the count. Oh, Evan chased one in the dirt there. 1-2. Now Evan's going to have to protect up there. Here's the pitch. Gets past the catcher. That's going to allow the runners to all advance up, and it's going to be 9-0 here in the third inning. Two and two is the count with 2 outs. Runners at second and third here for the Warriors. 4 runs came across so far. Evan's got to find just a little bit of space out there. Put a charge into this ball. Outside, 3-2. Here comes the pitch. Evan got a hold of that one a little bit too high. And it was lost in the lights. The ball was down all the way out to the fence. And Sauer with a big shot scores 2 runs on the double. I didn't think it was going that far either. I thought that the left fielder was near it, but I guess not. Jake Krieger up to bat for the second time in the inning. 11-0. That's off the end of the bat again. Second baseman goes out, makes the play for the third out. But the Warriors, once again, they put up a 6th spot this time. It's like they're almost trying to outdo themselves each one of these innings. It's 11-0 after 2.5. We'll be back here for the bottom of the third when Winneconne comes up to bat. They're the home team in this doubleheader. Welcome back here to the Gus. Mason Holds dealing. 1-1 is the count to number 23, Peyton Davis. His first at bat. First time seeing Mason. Here comes the pitch. 2-1 is the count to Davis. Here's the pitch. Right on the outside edge, 2-2. Mason Holt's feeling it. It helps when you got 11-0 lead. Inside for the strikeout. Good pitch there, moving it around. Gets him looking for the first out. Brings up number 32, Colin Albrecht. Catcher for Winneconne. First pitch in there to him is a strike. Mason just wants to get the ball and let's get going. Right again, right on the inside, strike 2. I think that's kind of fooling the Winneconne hitters because you don't typically have a pitch coming to the inside, especially with a lefty. You want to nibble on that outside. Mason's not afraid to try and find it, and so far he has. 0-2, 1 out to Albrecht. Here's the pitch. Oh, it stays alive. Fouled that one off. Still 0-2. Got the signals a little bit mixed up. So Hunter walks out. Talks to Mason, make sure they're on the same page here. Little bit high, 1-2. Gets them swinging for the second out. It's already the 5th strikeout for Mason. And here's the last man in the lineup, the number 9 hitter. A little bit outside to the lefty. Number 15, Ben Tesh. 1-0. A little high. 2-0. Here comes the pitch. Gets him with a swing. 2-1 for the swing and strike. Strike 2. Deuces are wild out there for Mason Holtz, number 12, the pitcher for the Warriors. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled it. I'm not sure what he's asking. If it was a foul. Yep, dead ball. Just double checking. May have ducked a little bit out of the way, didn't quite see it, so decided to play it safe. Yeah, it looked like that too. Oh, Mason thought he had him on that outside edge. 3-2. Here comes the pitch. And he walks him. Brings the top of the order, number 2, Dylan Sherratt. Oh, number 5 is coming in. He was in the first. He's right here. Mason Dorn.
Oh, number 5, Mason Dorn.
Mason Dorn coming in for Sherratt. 0-2 quickly. Mason gets ahead of him. Loses that one. That's going to allow the runner to advance. Now there's a man at second for Winneconne. 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, gets him swinging for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on.
Waupun 11, Winneconne 0.
After 3 innings complete here from the Gus in Waupun, 11-0. The Waupun Warriors over the Winneconne Wolves. We'll be back here for the top of the 4th when the Warriors come back up to bat to see if they can continue this hit parade and put some more runs up on the board. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Also be popping over and checking in that chat, and we'll share that information out there. Welcome back here to the Gus. Coming up to bat, number 22, Chase Beam here in the top of the 4th. New pitcher for Winneconne, number 7, Lucky Paul. Two and one. The Camp House. Two and two. Camp House takes a cut at that one. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 on the outside edge, and Camp House goes down looking for the second out.
Now number 5, Brian Ferris.
Batting here for the Warriors, number 5, Brian Ferris. Inside and high to Ferris for a ball. Bryant looking for his first hit in this game. Reached on an error and scored. Flew out to the shortstop. A little bit too far outside. 2-0. Here's the pitch. Right there. 2-1. 11-0 here for the Waupun Warriors after just sneaking a win out in that first game in this doubleheader. 9-8. 3-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Good contact, but popped up straight up in the air. Got underneath it a little bit. Third baseman calling for it. Misses it. And it falls for a single. Base hit for Brian Ferris.
Number 11, Conrad Davis.
I've never heard any teams complain about our lights not being effective out here, but that's the second person. I wasn't sure if they lost it or what. First pitch coming into number 11, Conrad Davis, is a ball. 2-0. Looks like I lost my center field camera. Not sure if that's because ran out of juice out there. Here's the pitch. And a strike in there, 3-1 to Davis. Lucky Paul throwing strikes. Good contact up the middle. Nice piece of hitting by Davis. Getting on his horse is Brian Ferris, turning it, getting into the third. On the base hit for Davis.
Going up to the plate, number 4, Hunter Camp.
2 outs here for the Warriors. Coming up to bat, it's going to be number 4, the catcher, Hunter Camp. 2 down. A little bit high. Ball 1. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, Camp pops it up. First baseman's calling it. Grabs a hold of it and gets the out. No damage done that inning.
11, Winneconne 0.
No runs on 2 hits. No errors and 2 left on for the Waupun Warriors in the top of the 4th. We'll be back here for the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Before we jump, let's see if we can get something going here. We got Missy Hole saying, keep up the good work, Mason. Yeah, he's dealing, Missy. I mean, he is on fire. Kalen Tesh, thanks for putting something out there for the Wolves. They're just in a tough spot. I mean, they just emotionally put everything they had into that first game, and they just have run out of the energy and the drive and the desire. Plus, they've run into a super hot Mason Holes on the mound. Dave Turner watching Brian Ferris from Idaho and saying, good, go Warriors. So, Dave, also thank you for helping me make sure I made some of those adjustments. I'm sorry I lost my center field camera. I've got third base and center field still available. If you'd like to put something out there, please feel free to do so. We'll be back here for the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back here to the Gus. Sorry, I forgot to put that music on as well. 11-0 here for the Waupun Warriors. Mason Holtz on the mound, ready to throw some more strikes. He's doing a great job out there throwing to Winneconne. Right up the middle, off of the shin. He'll see if he can recover. That's the play you wanted right there as the third baseman to try and pick it up. And there's a hit for the Winneconne Wolves. Number 14, Alex Duell. Going to take a walk out there. Is he just checking on Mason? Oh, he said it hit off the heel of his hand, it looks like. Going to give him a couple of chances to throw a couple of balls since it was off of his throwing hand for sure. So let's see if he can throw. Oh, it looks like he lost a little velocity on that now. They probably should take him out. Mason, it looks like everything's going to be okay, so he's going to come out here in the bottom of the 4th. Here comes the pitch.
At the plate for the Wolves, Brady Madrov.
Mavrov at the plate. Duel's actually had a pretty good day and night here. Oh, I take that back. That's his first hit. Hit it hard right up the gut. Mavrov has had a pretty good day. Struggled a little bit. That one's popped up into the air. Going to get it out to Conrad Davis. Pulls that in for the out. Mavrov had 5, was on base 5 times in that first game. And twice he's flown out here in this contest. Brings up number 11, Jeremiah Yankee for Winneconne. In there for a strike. Mason from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Hit up the gap. No, White had a chance. Just missed it. Duel's going to fly over to third. And they're going to get the ball into second. Yankee, again, staying hot. He was hot in that in the first game as well. I think he was on base all 5 times. Struck out the first time he saw Mason in 3 pitches. But this time, good contact over to second base. Brings up number 16, Gavin Markert for Winneconne. I'm not sure what they were looking to do here. I don't know what the coach was asking for. First pitch coming in there for Mason's a ball to Markert. Alex Duel sitting on third base. Yankee at first. A little bit outside. This is the first inning where we're seeing a little bit of hitters going after Mason. Here's the pitch. On the ground. That should be fielded by the third baseman. Looks to flip the double play. Couldn't quite get it. Run scores. Fielder's choice gets the out. 5-4. For the second out. Brings up number 1, Dominic Brown. Nope. Number 9 coming up, sorry. Well, it's hard to announce it then when we don't know who it is. Maybe somebody out there for Winneconne could pop that in the chat for me quick so we can give credit for the batter that's coming up. That's number 9 for Winneconne. Love to give credit where credit's due. 1-1 is the count to number 9. 2 down, runner on first. You do. Technically, even when he was putting Albrecht down as number 34, he should be out of the game because he's 32, but it's early in the season. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs. If anybody out there knows quickly can pop that in there so we can give credit to who number 9 is, I'd really appreciate it. Right down the middle for a strikeout, ending the inning. Looking. The score after 4, 11-1.
After 4 innings complete. Waupun 11, Winneconne 1.
Coming up to bat here for the Waupun Warriors is going to be the top of the order. I thought Emmett did bat that time, didn't he? So Emmett's going to start us out in the top of the 5th. Top of the lineup here for the Waupun Warriors. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Jeff Sauer here on Jeff's live stream. Welcome back here to the Gus for the top of the 5th inning. Strike one to Emmett Hall, leading things off here for the Waupun Warriors. Lucky Paul still the pitcher out there for Winneconne. Here's the pitch. Hits him, gets on base. See if they can get that one run back and have a little bit of a cushion to try and end this here in 5. Again, I just really feel bad for Winneconne. They were a very game opponent in that first game. And Waupun was able to sneak out that victory by using a battalion of pitchers. And unfortunately for Winneconne, they just did not have an answer on the pitching staff here for this game. Fouled off there, Mason Holtz. Got to see what the count was. I kind of missed it. I wasn't paying attention and putting a couple of things away here. 1-1 is the count to Mason. Here in the top of the 5th. Just a little bit outside, just missed. 2-1. Here's the next pitch. Mason cranks that one foul out of play. Two and two is the count. Warriors up by 10. 10-run rule in high school baseball after 5. Outside, that's going to allow Emmett to advance to second. After he was hit by the pitch. Full count now to Mason Holtz. 3-2. And he draws the walk. So Colin Camphouse had been coming in for Mason, I thought, but Colin batted, so
Number 25, Evan Sauer.
I don't think he can. So runners at first and second for the Warriors brings up number 25, Evan Sauer. Number 10, Braden Larson will be on deck. Ooh. Ball 1. Not sure where that one missed. There's the pitch. Outside. Ball 2. Here comes the pitch from number 7, Lucky Paul. Bounces that one into the dirt. Runners are going to move up. Nobody out here, and 3-0 to Evan. Coach is coming out to have a conversation Looks like there might be a pitching change that's going to take place here. Well, it looks like my third base camera ran out of juice as well. So I guess we're down to just this main camera. So I knew before that I usually cannot run. I'm not even sure what time it is out there. Oh, 8:15. So I don't typically am not able to run a camera that long. Or the power pack might have run out. Either way, we got the main camera here. We can finish watching the game here. Strike in there to Evan Sauer, 3-1. Here's the pitch. Evan gets underneath that one, pops it up into the air. The catcher's going out after it, dances for it, and misses. That's where your third baseman's got to be helping you out there. He's got to call him off and take that. Winneconne wasn't making those types of mistakes in that first game. Here's the pitch. Evan gets it off the end of the bat, keeps a full count at 3-2. There's the pitch. Gets on top of that. Quick hands of Evan Sauer just hammered that one. A little bit of pace taken off of it. Nobody out here for the Warriors. Off the end of the bat. Out to the center fielder. Gets underneath it, gets the out. They tag, runners advance. And score a run. And Emmett Hull coming around, getting that insurance run back here for the Waupun Warriors. One out.
Now up number 10, Braden Larson.
Brings up number 10, Braden Larson. He's going to bat for Jake Krieger. Ball one to Larson. Gets a piece of that one out to right field. Right fielder grabs it. Run should still score. And now the Warriors have two insurance runs out there. Good sacrifice there for Larson.
Now up number 2, Brady White.
Glad to see everybody gets a chance to hit out there. Coming up now and batting in for Colin Camphouse is going to be number 2, Brady White. Here's the pitch. Strike on the outside for Brady. Oh, I take that back. He's batting for Chase Beam, right? Strike. Oh, because he was DHing for him. You got it. Oh, and 2 for Brady. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Little bit low. 1-2. Two and two. Great to see these guys get some experience out there playing. I mean, you got to make sure you have those opportunities when they pop up. Getting some varsity experience. Fouls that one off. Keeps the count at 2-2 with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Little bit high. Fights it to a full count. 3-2. Good at bat here for Brady. And lets that one go by right there in the strike zone and gets caught looking for the third out. 2 runs. No hits, no errors, and 1 left on. Waupun Warriors 13 and Winneconne 1 here in the bottom of the 5th coming up. We'll be back here to the Gus. 0-2s. Mason Holtz trying to finish this thing out here for the Waupun Warriors. Facing number 23, Peyton Davis. And goes down. Oh, I thought it was a swinging. Sorry. I was, yeah, 0-2. Yeah, so. Okay. One out here for the Waupun Warriors. On defense, that one's just a little bit low to number 32, Colin Albrecht. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Albrecht got a piece of it. Continuing to battle out there. Here comes the pitch. Just a little bit outside for Mason. 2-1 to Albrecht. Down to their last 5 strikes. There's one of them gone. 2-2 is the count. Fouls that one off, staying alive in there. Good piece of hitting right now so far for Colin Albrecht. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball stays high. Full count now to Albrecht. Here comes the pitch. Fouls that one off. Keeps it at 3-2. It was a great pitch there coming from Mason. Here's the next pitch. Off the outside edge again. Albrecht doing a good job keeping those quick hands. Here's the pitch. Three and two still. 1 out. Mason Holtz. Little bit low, and Albrecht draws the walk. Good piece of hitting there by Colin Albrecht for the Winneconne Wolves. Still 1 out. Ben Tesh coming up to bat for Winneconne. Ball 1 to Tesh. Hit to the third baseman. Good field there. Fires to try and get the double play. Can't get it. On the fielder's choice. That's a nice play there by the third baseman for the Warriors.
Number 5, Gavin Markert.
Emmett Hull out there fielded it cleanly. Mason Dorn up to bat now here for Winneconne. 0-1. Here's the pitch. 1-1 to Dorn. Three and one. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, full count, 3-2. 2 down. Their last strike. And he walks him. Runners on first and second. Brings up the left-handed hitting number 14, Alex Duell. Was able to get the one hit so far here for Winneconne. Strike right there down the middle for Mason Holtz. Trying to get things done here. Trying to finish up this game here before 8:30, hopefully. It's been a long day already here for these players. Up the middle, Mason snags it. Good play there. Fires over to first and ends it here for the Waupun Warriors, defeating Winneconne Wolves 13-1 here in the second game of the doubleheader. And that's going to do it here from the Gus. Thanks to both of these teams. Thanks for following along, and I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. Game number 1 of probably about 30-some games we'll get through, especially with the Legion going on as well. So hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. It's great to see some baseball taking place again, and good to see Waupun Warriors staying undefeated right now at 3-0. Take care. God bless, and I can't wait to see you.